And the other thing is, I've been through an interesting point in my life. I was separated for 2 years, and as of August 1st, I was divorced. And then on September 1, I found myself on a plane to Amsterdam to be here. So my life is changing, and I'm just kind of concerned about the next steps that I'll be taking in my life. I almost feel like I'm getting out of college. Like when you get out of college, you have X amount of educational experience, and then it's time to go forward into the world personally and professionally. And I believe like I'm at an age and stage in my life where, my decisions, I have less time. I'm not coming out of college. That was like a long time ago. So I kind of want to understand what's a better way to plan for my future. There's a kind of a lot behind this. I saw a psychic who said that my ex was a narcissist, which made me believe potentially my parents had narcissistic tendencies and a former boss. So I don't want narcissists in my life. And
too bad, because everyone is one.
Well, I want we kind of attract people to us, and
really, someone should write a book about that.
I know. Right. So I think I'm better aware of how I move forward a little bit, but also monetarily, like I feel like I need to make, for considering my educational background, my professional background, I thought I would be further ahead in my life financially. And I'm patient, and I know things are my vortex, and I'm oftentimes in my vortex.
We want to say to you, and we mean this, we want you to know how much we appreciate this conversation, and we want you to know that it doesn't matter where you are, you can get to where you want to be. We want you also to know that when you feel as you feel, in other words, the beliefs that you've sort of attracted or collected or created along the way, some of them are serving you and some of them are not. And so when you speak of what you want and then speak of what you don't want, speak of what you want and then speak of what you've got, it requires patience, because you're not going to get there anytime soon. You can't continue to speak the truth of what you feel without offering a vibration that prevents your desires, and we know there are many because we can see them in your vortex. You prevent what you want from coming by your consideration and conversation about what isn't working right. When you say, I'm concerned about this, or I don't have that much life left, or I need to be patient, all of that conversation is so powerful. Conversation is a vibration generator that increases momentum, that literally blocks the ideas and blocks the timing and blocks the rendezvous of the things that you want. So since you are new to us, we want to explain to you, we talked about this in the hours before. Were you here in the audience? And so we'll just give you a little recap by reminding you that when you are struggling in a relationship, the things that you don't want in that relationship are very helpful to you, because it causes you to launch unspoken, vibrational rockets of desires about what you do want. Now, we say unspoken, not because you can't speak them, but because you usually don't speak them, because when you're focused upon what you don't want, that's usually what you're talking about. So you were doing that in the time leading up to the separation, and then you were doing that during the separation time leading up to the divorce, and then you were doing it all through the divorce time, and now you've been doing it ever since all the divorce time. So you're talking about those things, those wonderful things that caused good stuff to go into your vortex. In other words, decisions made, decisions made, decisions made. And maybe those decisions that you made were made at such a sort of unconscious level that you're not ready to speak them. But that must be your goal, to speak about what you do want, not about what you don't want, about what you expect to happen well, not about what you don't expect to happen well. And the best analogy that we've ever given could perfectly apply to what you were doing just now. And not just you, everybody does it. Esther laughs at herself every day. And lately she's saying, well, there goes another train on the track going in the opposite direction of what I mean. You just have these things that you're accustomed to saying, these things that you're accustomed to feeling, but you got to cut it out. You have to start talking only about what you want. And so we know. Now, you feel like you're in a little bit of a trap because you come here wanting to ask a question. And almost everybody, if they have a question, it's about something that they seek improvement about. And so it seems logical that you would speak your present state of being in order to get to the improvement, but it doesn't work that way. Every time you speak your present state of being, it compounds your present state of being. It just adds more resistance into the mix, and your desire gets stronger and stronger, but your resistance gets stronger and stronger too. And under those conditions, everyone needs a lot of patience, because you're not going anywhere anytime soon. So you just have to catch yourself. When you catch yourself saying those things that you don't want, stop in the middle of it and laugh just a little bit and say, oh, this is an old habit that's on its way out. And then, if you can, in the early days, a long time ago, we used the word pivot. We said, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. So when you find yourself saying, I'm worried about my future, then do your best to find the best feeling words that you can find. Well, I'm not that worried, because things really are better, and I'm pretty good at taking care of myself, and I'll figure it out as I go. Say some words that mean what you mean, and not so many words that mean what you don't want. You've been trained, you all have, to be so objective. Esther would say to us in the beginning, she had the same look on her face that you have now, and she would say, Abraham, but it's true. It's true. These things I'm telling you are true. And we would say, what has that got to do with anything? What? Esther was shocked. You mean I shouldn't face the truth? And we say, no, not unless you want a lot more of it in your life, just like it. Don't face reality, create reality. Talk about what you do want. Talk about what you do want. Talk about what you do want. And we're not asking you to go cold turkey. No one can. Law of attraction won't let you make only positive thoughts. And even if you were a disciplined, and you're a disciplined person, even if you were a disciplined enough person to make yourself only say the words that sound good, and even if you could get the right look on your face, it's your vibration that the universe is responding to. So we're not really asking you to shift words. We're not asking you to fake it till you make it. That doesn't work. We're asking you to find softer feelings about it, to be kinder to yourself, to recognize your value and your power, to realize that you've been making good decisions, to realize that you know how to make good decisions, to realize that you are intuitive, to realize that you do have an awareness of your own guidance system, and then just utilize it more. It's tricky to have been coupled up with someone, and everybody you know saw you that way, and now you're not. And so almost everywhere you go, it feels to you like that you need to explain something to someone. You don't. And the more you explain about why you are not where you used to be, the more you hold yourself in a similar vibrational pattern that won't let you go to the new place. Helpful?
It is helpful. And also, I'm a realtor, and I've been a realtor for 8 years, and I do moderately well, but it's a real grind, and it just
now
takes
listen
up so
to yourself.
much time.
Listen to yourself. You're doing exactly the opposite of what we were just encouraging. And we did say to you, you don't need to go cold turkey, but try a little. Try a little. You get what you think about whether you want it or not. You get what you talk about whether you want it or not. There's no way around this law of attraction. Seriously, if there were, Esther would have found it. Esther would have found the way around it if there were a way around it. Because there are some things she just thinks need to be said. Enough?
I think so. I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. Just trust and move forward, because I do make good decisions.
Well, faith is trusting in something not yet seen. And that is what we're asking, because all of the things that you want are in your vortex. And even though you can't see them yet because they haven't manifested yet, they are there. And so we would ask you to have a little bit of faith. But trust and faith, similar. But what we're really asking is that you practice positive thoughts and notice the results of them. And then you don't need trust because you've got demonstration.
Okay. Thank you.
Really good. Really good. She's not the only one in this room feeling exactly like that, is she?
Thank you so much. I don't really have a question. It's just that, I'm really grateful to be here. And if I could have something, I would like, if it's possible, if you could do like...
Now listen to yourself. If I could have something, get out. If it's possible, you've got to be kidding. Were you asleep
I would like
yesterday?
a
The day before?
rampage of
We're playing with you a little bit.
Okay.
But we really want all of you to listen to the power of your words. Your words matter. Your words that reflect your feeling matter. And so we're asking all of you to focus yourself more toward what you want. And so a much more powerful statement would be, Abraham, now you can be polite, if you would be so kind, to give me this exact thing that I'm wanting. We're not trying to put words in your mouth. We're trying to take words out of your mouth.
Okay. I would love to be able to very easily and quickly
But
get
before
into...
we go there, don't run away from this. Do you believe that all things are possible?
Yes.
And certainly in a setting where you're asking us to do something, but those words, that sort of is the way you approach life, isn't it? Sort of tentatively and meekly, and if it's not too much trouble, universe, I would like to live happily ever after. But I understand if you don't think it's a good idea.
I listen to your tapes a lot. I love to go on YouTube and listen to, find the latest thing that's the rampages.
Have we made you dependent upon us for emotional movement?
I think so. No.
So it's a good time for segment refreshment. And
like, I love when you're speaking with somebody and you...
that's what you wanted. You're sitting out there and that's what you wanted. That's what was on your mind. Just raise your hand because it was nothing personal, really, nothing. In other words, it was just, or did you?
I think that sometimes I can...
You are the creator of your own reality. What do you want to create? Because we'll rampage here all day long. We do.
Yeah.
We want you to make this personal to you. We want you to take this opportunity to help there be movement within you vibrationally. You have a vortex full of things that you are not moving toward. Wouldn't you like to talk about something in a way that moves you toward them? Wouldn't you like some movement within you rather than just listening to Esther receive Abraham in a rampage? Wouldn't you like some movement within you about something that matters to you? Wouldn't you?
Yes.
You see what we're getting at? Because you are not an observer of life, you are a creator of life. You're not a spectator, you're someone who wants to get your hands in the clay. And we pinpointed as we began here what's really going on, because you don't ask for much for yourself. Not much beyond what you've already got. Isn't there something beyond where you are that you would like to focus into place?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's everything. It's not.
Well, that's
just...
blurred vision, isn't it? When you try to look at everything at once, try it.
No,
Try
it's
it.
true.
Try to look at everything at once.
It's true.
Just look everywhere at once. Look everywhere. We're serious. Look everywhere. Look everywhere at once. What are you seeing? Not
It's
anything.
True. Yeah.
Not anything. Focus somewhere.
Okay. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I feel if I say something,
You can't help but be honest. You know why? Because
Pardon?
it's not your words, it's your vibration, and they're always honest.
I feel like sometimes if I say something then and ask a question, then I'm sort of opening that can of worms, and then that's, and I don't mean, it's not a fear, but
Well,
somehow...
you want to open the can of worms of all the good worms.
Yeah, if they're like gold worms or something.
Golden worms.
But it's just so wonderful, life and just all of this.
Golden worms.
And I feel a connection with Abraham. Like, I feel like I knew I was going to be picked there. It's like yesterday or
So maybe
last
that's
time.
what this was all about. You just knew you were going to be picked.
No, I just,
Well,
I'm really
this conversation, all the conversations, the one before and this one, it's all about focus. And you all are a leading edge group. You are in the process of mastering your deliberate flow of vibration for the purpose of matching up with law of attraction. And so, really, when you have an opportunity to visit with someone like us who has clear knowledge of what's in your vortex, Don't you want to talk about that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So what would you recommend?
We are appreciating you more than we can even begin to explain.
Okay.
Really. All is very well. You'll hear so much more as we are moving forward.